All right, we're diving into something that, on paper, shouldn't even exist. What you're about to hear is from a declassified audio log, a mission to the Titanic wreck in 2026 that found something, well, something impossible, down in the crushing dark. First thing you have to understand is this classification. Top secret, eyes only. I mean, this was never supposed to see the light of day. It was buried. So what we're looking at here, it's basically a ghost in the machine. Okay, so let's set the scene. The mission was called Project Deep Void. The date, February 12, 2026. And the plan, it was supposed to be a totally routine, high-res scan of the Titanic. You know, a ship that's been sitting in total silence for more than 100 years. And look, on the surface, everything checks out. You've got your project name, your date, location. The vehicle is an autonomous ROV, the Nautilus 9. It was all by the book, you know? Just a simple data run. Or at least, it was supposed to be.
And this is where it all goes sideways. The Nautilus 9 is just gliding over the ship's massive boiler field when the silence is just shattered. An impossible pulse. This is where the anomaly starts.
So here it is, the first entry in the log that really matters. The tech lead, he reports noise. But you gotta notice the quotation marks he uses. Right from that very first moment, they knew something was off. This wasn't just random static from the deep. No, this was something else. And that was the whole problem, right? Noise is just random chaos. But a signal is structured. It's intentional. It's designed to carry information. And the team figured it out pretty quick. What they were hearing wasn't noise. It was a signal.
What really made it so impossible was the timing. It was repeating every 1.2 seconds, like a perfect metronome. Nature doesn't do that. You don't get that kind of perfect rhythm from decay or geology. No, this was artificial. It was deliberate.
And that brings us to the big, glaring paradox. I mean, to have a repeating artificial signal, you need power. You need a battery, a generator, something. But the Titanic, it's a dead ship. It's been dead for a century. So the question is, what in the world is powering this thing?
And if you think that's weird, it gets so much stranger. As the team started analyzing the pulse, its rhythm, its frequency, they made a discovery that was just bone-chilling. This wasn't some modern signal. It was an echo from 1912.
See, the pulse was a perfect match for something called the Cottam sequence, and that is the specific rhythmic distress call that the Titanic's wireless operator tapped out on the night the ship went down. They were hearing the ship's original SOS, and it was coming from the exact location of the old Marconi room.
I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. 1912 and 2026. How does a distress call, just a faint little whisper of electricity, somehow survive for over a century, and then just start broadcasting again? From a dead machine, 2.5 miles under the sea? Okay, but this is where the story shifts. It stops being this kind of cool historical mystery and turns into something active. Something happening right now, because that signal, that perfect echo, it started to change.
The tech lead, he's running a live decryption, trying to make sense of it all, and suddenly he realizes it's not the simple dots and dashes of the old distress call anymore. The signal had evolved. It had become a countdown.
And that's the question, isn't it? The one Dr. Thorne asks, the one we're all thinking. A countdown means something is about to happen. There's an endpoint, a purpose. All of a sudden, this isn't a ghost anymore. It's a ticking clock. But a countdown to what? And that brings us to the end. The last, absolutely terrifying moments of the Deep Void mission. They're about to get their answer. And believe me, it is so much worse than anything they could have possibly dreamed up. And then it hits them. The final awful realization. The signal was never a ghost. It was a beacon. A call that was sent out in 1912 and had been echoing out into the void, just waiting for over a century. And now, something buried deep in the silt, something that had been listening this whole time, was finally answering back. This is it. The last command from Dr. Thorne. And you can hear it in his voice, right? It's not a calm, collected order. It's pure, unfiltered panic. The moment they realized they weren't just observers anymore, they were at ground zero.
Communication. Total LOS. End of log. And that's it.
It just cuts out. The official report says Project Deep Void was lost because of equipment failure. But this log suggests a very different story. It leaves you with this one terrifying question. What was awakened when the Titanic's final message was finally answered?